thinking of going to university.
I would like to go to university.
Me too.
If I ever got to university, I would be the only member of my family to go to university, so it's going to be quite good.
It would be very easy to just pick the most academically bright students that apply to us. We would fill all our courses and everything would be fine. But what we want to do is to give opportunities to those students that are academically bright but don't have the same sorts of support at home perhaps. They haven't got the role models, their parents haven't had the opportunity to go to university. All those advantages that mean that they don't have the automatic route into university.
I was the first person in my family to come to university, and I think it is really important that students who come from a background where higher education isn't the norm or isn't a natural path, that they actually get the opportunity to come and see what it's like to be a student and see that the students studying at university are actually people just like them. The students here today are a selection of students from a local school. This is actually the 4th visit they've had to the university. Today's activity is a forensic science-based activity called CSI Huddersfield. So we tell them that a murder has been committed, we give them a list of suspects and possible motives. We do an outline of a body, we put down a muddy footprint next to that, and in their groups they have to evaluate all the evidence and come up with who they think committed the murder and present that information to the rest of the group. It's hugely positive. I think the students really value coming onto a university campus and meeting the students, and it is definitely the student ambassadors that make it such an interesting, exciting day for them.
The families and the kids in this area have got massive potential, but they haven't until now always been showing it. In fact, they've rarely been showing it. There is absolutely chronic lack of aspiration, and so for us this is a long-term change where both these pupils and their children can have a much brighter future because they realise they have that potential. It's about holding their head up high and feeling that they've got something to give back to the world, and that I'm seeing already. I'm seeing a big change in the aspiration from the school that was here before to the school I'm seeing now. One of the most bizarre and unlikely links that came out of working with the university was with Dr. Matthew McFall, who's already a doctor of wonder. He's now doing his second doctorate looking at the effect of wonder on learning, and Matthew believes the power of engaging young people through objects and items and little mysteries and puzzles. And so I've given him a room. I employ him 1 day a week, although he often creeps in for extra days. And what you find is that pupils of all ability, particularly those of perhaps who have more issues and problems, are just drawn to the room like a magnet, and they calm down, they become interested, they ask questions, and they become passionate.
Certain pupils will come in and look for their favourite things, and then what I've noticed is start demonstrating or explaining them to newcomers. So I'm seeing children teach other children. That's something I had not expected to witness. The university has its own cachet, but I think more important than that is that I'm a real visitor. I come once or twice a week and I make sure things happen when I'm here.
And here we have a machine what speaks Spanish.
French.
Well, French then.
One of the things we set out to achieve at NUSA in terms of the benefits for pupils is a sense of university being a very normal thing. We call it normalization. So they should take university in their stride. And they do that, I think, through personal relationships. It's not the place that they take in their stride, it's the fact that they know individual staff and students from the university.
Grace and Holly help us a lot.
Yeah, they're like very good role models, and they give us the actual boost to become
Education.
like them and stuff.
Yeah.
I think that the best thing that I take from working with the children at NUSA is a sense that they're getting a real support system and something that isn't really in place for them already, and remembering how it was when I was younger. I think it's really nice to have someone a bit younger than the teacher, someone who's kind of on a middle ground.
We can talk about things with them, even if it's off the subject, and they'll still help
But it's
us.
mostly on the subject.
Yeah, mostly on the subject.
I think undergraduates have the opportunity to gain through the experience of teaching. Teaching's a great way of acquiring experience. Some of our undergraduates, of course, want to be teachers, and for them it's particularly useful. But I think there are transferable skills in the teaching experience.
That's really good. And then after you've put that, do you want to put something about how you'd like it to have changed now?
As a group of second year politics students, we come in twice a week to the same class, teaching them about South African politics. And it's just a chance for us to relate what we're studying at university to children here. I mean, one of our biggest tasks to overcome was how to make it suitable for them and to make them understand and be interested in it.
Yeah, they're still quite poor.
Well, some part of it is rich. Though.
Yeah, some part of it's still rich. Like it was rich under apartheid, but it was
So
mainly
why
white
don't the
people.
rich people share with the poor people?
You can read about it as much as you want, but when you're talking to kids who are engaged, asking you questions, you're like, it makes you think about it in a different way. It's not purely theoretical. You're like, actually, this is really bad. And now you've got kids expressing emotions like heartbroken, disgusting. You're like, yeah, you don't always think about it like that.
The student ambassadors are actually probably the most important part of our team. In terms of the message, what the student ambassadors can do is so powerful. We can stand there and talk to them, but who cares what a 40-year-old thinks? What they want to know is about the students themselves, their own experience.
On my course especially, you get a really good close group of friends. I quite like the balance we get whilst we're working, but we're still having a laugh and a good chat and get to know each other really well.
One of the risks for partnership between schools and universities is that we go and we do stuff together and then we go our separate ways. And one of the lovely things about the NUSA project is that I have the opportunity to talk to the pupils and the staff and reflect on what we've done. That's a great privilege, but I think it's also exactly what a project of this sort really needs.
If anybody watching this says, well, I want to get involved with a university, the absolute key is you've got to get buy-in from as senior level as possible, because without someone at the very top, like Professor Di Birch, this whole thing would not be anywhere near as exciting as it is. I think for any school, regardless whether you're sponsored, make sure that you don't just approach the university about higher education. Approach the university as a partner to get involved in things you're doing with your Year 7s. One of the strongest things we've got is the university involved in our Year 6 transition, our transition from primary. Not many places think that as an obvious area for a university to work with you. But it's fantastic. The kids have a day in the university before they start here at NUSA.
The Advanced Partnership Award is something that the SSAT has developed to allow universities and schools to basically gain accreditation for the partnership work that they do. And I'm very proud to say that we're the first university to gain the Advanced Partnership Award.
I think the key is in the word partnership. This is something that we both came from. This is not a top-down model. This is where the university totally and utterly involves itself with the day-to-day life of our school, helping out, not trying to tell us what to do, but to give us the opportunities. I feel like a little boy in a sweet shop.